Hello, everybody. Hello, Dominic, Daniel, Michelle, and Snake. This is a little Zoom chat with the members of Voïvod in celebration of their release of Synchro Anarchy, their 15th album. This is going to be released on February 11th. Congratulations to you guys for sounding not only like Voïvod, but sounding so fresh this far in. Really incredible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is it easy to assess an album, or is it difficult to assess an album when you're so close to it and you've just finished it? Like, how do you when are you able to listen to that album in a more objective way?
Once the whole thing was recorded, it was pretty intense. So it was really hard to take a step back and judge if it was any good, actually. But now I understand that we put so much work into it that it paid off.
I want to talk about the circumstances behind recording this album. It was very different than any other Voïvod album. Obviously, because of the pandemic, it sort of forced you to do things in a different way, I think. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
We were ready to start jamming and writing and improvising at the jam space, but then everything got shut down. So we kind of lost touch with each other for a little while, but we had ideas recorded already. At some point, we realized we after doing streaming shows and being busy with also shows in the summer, we realized the clock was ticking for a new record. We kind of gathered all the ideas and put together some structures of what would become songs. And he did a great job, and also learned to program MIDI drums. And what surprised me a lot is that when I received the programmed drums, it sounded exactly like him playing. It was amazing, and I could feel his groove and his fill, and I was playing with him. And I think it was great to work that way. We welcomed it as a creative tool instead of being frustrated, in the situation.
Right. Take what you're given by the pandemic challenge, or just create it in a different way. I mean, isn't that sort of the Voïvod way to do it sort of differently? Here's how everybody else does it. We're going to do it this way.
Yeah. The fact that, we did the live streaming just before that, and we learned a lot from the live streaming, because Francis Perron, the producer, managed to make us sound really good as, just bass, drum, guitar, vocal. That's it, no artificial outfit or anything. And then after the streaming, we were sitting around the fire at the studio and said, well, we might have to need a new record soon, like, how are we going to do this? And we were all looking at each other. It's like, okay, are we going to do this? Okay. Yes. Okay, we'll do it. And then we had like something like 4 months to put everything together. At the very end of it, I was like out of my mind with the lyrics and everything. It was an unusual way to do it, but we challenged ourselves to the maximum, I think. And it created a vibe of emergency in the music and in the surrounding and everything.
Before knowing much about that, when I got the album to listen to the first time, I thought this sounds a bit more urgent and kind of impactful than The Wake. The Wake was a little more broader in scope. This one, it just hits you right away. And I wonder if the beginning of the album was intentional to not have your usual Voïvod spaceship starting up sounds and whatnot. I mean,
I know that eventually we had to decide on are we going to make a single vinyl or double vinyl, and we went for the compact single vinyl, and that allowed us not to think too much about interludes and all that. So it's like a more direct album, that's for sure.
Yeah. This one has a punky, like you said, right in the face attitude that I really enjoy.
But still, yeah, it does. But still, something like the title track there's an interplay between guitar and bass at one point in there that's just completely mind melting. And so there's kind of a new level of complication in some of it, which I think is great. Yeah, it's kind of its own album. And I wondered if following up The Wake was at all a challenge for you in terms of the reception that The Wake got, because I think I speak for most Voivod fans when I say that that truly is one of the best Voivod albums, not of the chewy, rocky era, but of the entire era.
Yeah, well, on my end, I felt the pressure. I really wanted it to be as good, if not better, than the Wake. So, but everybody worked extra hard, and I started at one point to also program drum beats without music. There was a lot of air drumming while I was programming the drum. I had to make sure that I was going to be able to play it after.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual sound and the recording. Where did you do this, and who assisted in the production and engineering?
Chewy was a great part of it. I think, Francis is the kind of guy that, he's doing his best to make us sound good, and he put extra care on everything. But I mean, he was suggesting stuff because we were going in a no man's land at a certain point. Chewy was behind the board with Francis, while I was still singing and still writing lyrics. I was writing lyrics and go to the microphone and sing. Most of the time you well prepared, you go to the studio, you have a coffee, it's vacation. But this time it was
a lot more coffee.
Yeah. But I remember Chewy looking at me. It has to be good.
No pressure.
It's like his eyes was going like this. But, it was under pressure, but it's like anything. When you challenge yourself, you deliver. You have no choice.
Every note was approved, or every single note. But we didn't overdo it either. Like Francis proposed a lot of options. He's part of the Voivod sound. He improved everything, the sound of the band, the sound of every instrument. I think it's big, it sounds large, but it sounds natural at the same time.
It sounds great. I gave it the hi-fi test the other night. I mean, when I first got it, and it's astoundingly solid. Everything's there, but it's not too meticulous. It's as it should be. Before we started recording, I was talking to Dominic Rocky about the bass tone and some of the melodic choices he's making. I think the bass has such a presence on this album. I mean, which every Voivod album should, but I think this one is commanding. I think the bass on this album is just, people are going to love it. I can't wait to hear some of the fan comments on this. So, thumbs up, Rocky. Great job.
Thank you. For sure. Francis did a really great job with the tone. The vibe is always really peace in the studio, and that give the right energy to just do the right thing. And we have, I think, the best team ever to do that.
Yeah,
and,
it's true.
I feel really lucky to be a part of. And Francis, Daniel, Snake, away. We are ready to the future for spread the album, and to do. I hope many more.
I don't think there's that many bands of your age that are on their 15th album, and fans are just dying for the new material. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, the first 3 singles had a great reaction and lots of views, and it's looking good. It's quite a relief. We went into the studio a bit prepared, but normally we get to rehearse together a lot more and to morph everything into Voivodian material and all that. So it's good thing that we had the 5th person there, Francis, to tell us, okay, well, yeah, everything glues. And
one thing that Francis was doing is already mixing while we were recording.
Yes.
Like he was,
and
he was
insane.
That gives you a drive, because you already see the future. You already see the song coming in a good way. So you just have to perform, and everything will be fine. So
yeah, Michel, you're usually pulling double duty when an album's being created, in the sense that you're, of course, a musician, but you're also the artist for, the album. Because of the time pressure on this one, was that even more of a crunch for you this time as well with the art?
Every session, I was doing a black and white drawing for the song, based on the song we were working on, or influenced by the song we were working on. So I ended up having one drawing for every song, but it's all black and white. The album is a bit dark, and I wanted to sort of trying to express this impending doom kind of feel. And
It all takes form, I think, the drawings with the Planet Eaters video. It's like the same kind of vibe, but it's alive and it's moving. And I think when I saw the video, I was like, perfect fit, like the drawings and the black and white thing.
We've mentioned the streaming shows a couple times. I wanted to mention that again, I don't want to speak for all Voïvod fans, but just being one, it really felt like things like Voïvod had helped us get back to a little bit of normality in the world. It sort of brought everybody together. It was really special that you guys did that, and not only did it, but did it so well. They came off great. So I want to thank you for that. I wonder where, other than the Metal and Beer Festival that Decibel is doing in Philadelphia in June, what are your live plans beyond that? Because it's, we're still in the pandemic a little bit. We're not out of it.
Well, that's the thing right now. It's a bit of a logistic nightmare just for visas, and the promoters are confused, the bands are confused. So as soon as we can go on the road, we want to go North America, Europe, South America, Japan, Australia, everywhere, like we did for the Wake, and if something happens, we might have to go back to the Hypercube sessions where we can revisit albums or play the new album. We'll see. When in August 2020, when we did the first Hypercube session for Snake's birthday, it's really because we missed getting in together and play, So yes, we can't wait.
Well, that's about all I got. Thanks so much, guys, for taking the time to do this, and can't wait to see you. I'm going to try to get up there to Philadelphia for the Metal Beer Fest.
Yeah, and just to thanks and say hello to James McLean and Life for Media, and everybody who works around the project.
Yeah, Life. I know Life. He does a great job, as does James.
Life, and too for the media. Samantha is there too for the media, and everybody who works with Voïvod. I think it's fun to work with people who are fan too.
Sure.
So it's we are really lucky to be together,
and to our fans out there, be patient. We'll be there eventually soon, I hope. So
can't wait.
Yeah.
Great to see you guys.
And a shout out to Mike Gitter from Century Media US as well. He's working hard for us these days.
Yeah, Mike's great. Awesome. All right.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Right on.
Yes, take care.